Hey guys, Ramesh here, back again with another video. In this video we will discuss Java array interview questions and answers for freshers. Well, in this video we will discuss few frequently asked Java interview questions on array topic. Okay, and I am going to recommend these interview questions especially for the freshers, because we are going to discuss very basic Java array interview questions in this video. Well, let's take a look into the first question. What is an array? An array is a data structure that defines an indexed collection of fixed number of homogeneous elements. This means that all the elements in the array have the same data type and array starts from the index 0. Let me explain you what is an array with the example so that you will understand better. Let me switch to the IntelliJ IDEA over here. Here I have a main class. Within a main class I have a main method, and within this main method I am going to create an integer array over here. So look at here, this is an integer array with 10 elements, and as we know that array is a data structure, right? Because we are storing elements in an array, that's why array is a data structure. And array is index based because each element in the memory represents an index. For example, 10 stored in an index 0. Okay, 10 stored in index 0 and 20 stored in index 1, 30 stored in index 2, like that. If you want to retrieve element 10 from the array, you can use index 0 because array starts from the index 0. Okay, let me write the comment over here. Array starts from index 0. Okay, and if we create an array using new keyword over here, we need to define the size. For example, let's say 10, and this 10 is fixed. So once we create an array with some size, we cannot change it later. Okay, once we create an array with some size, we cannot change the size of an array later. The size of the array should be fixed, right? Size of the array is fixed. Okay, and in an array we can store only the similar type of data. Similar type of data meaning, let's say if we create an integer array, we need to store only the integer numbers. We cannot store other data type values like string, okay, long. For example, let me demonstrate you. Let's say I have an integer array, and if I store 10, it is valid, 20 it is valid, and if I try to store some string over here, for example Ramesh, it will give you the compilation error because you can see the required type int, but we are providing string, right? It means that we can store only the similar type of data in the array. For example, if we create an integer array, we need to store only the integer numbers. If we create a string array, we only store the string values. For example, if I create one string array over here, string array, and if I try to store integer, it will give the compilation error. You can see required type is string, but we are providing integer. And if I store string over here, for example Ramesh, this is valid because we are storing string value in the string array, right? So array is we can store similar type of elements. Type meaning integer or string, long, double. Okay, so we can store similar type of elements in an array. So one more very important point is array can be a primitive type or reference type. For example, here you can see we are creating an array with primitive data type int, and here we are creating an array with a reference type string. It means that we can create an array using primitive data types as well as reference type. Reference type can be a built-in reference type or user defined reference type. For example, we can create a student class over here. Let's say student, okay, and we can create an array of student class. So student classes already exist. Let me give some other class name here book, and we can create a book array, right? For example, book array, and we can create an object of the array. We can define the size, right? So array can be a primitive data types or a reference type. Okay, and the main use of array is that we can store multiple values in a single variable, because here you can see we are storing 10, 20. These are the multiple values, right? We can store any number of, we can store three values, 4, 5, 6, so on. So instead of creating a separate variable, for example like this, int a equals to 10, okay, int b equals to 20, int c equals to 30. So instead of storing individual values in a separate variable like this, we can create an array and we can store multiple values in the array, right? So this is the main use of array, because we are storing multiple values in a single variable. So instead of storing each value in a individual variable, we can create an array and we can store multiple values, right? So this is the main use of an array. All right, so whenever you will answer to this question like what is an array, make sure that you will mention all these important points. All right, great. So let me recap the points. Array is a data structure, and we can store similar type of elements in an array, and array index starts from 0, and the size of the array is fixed, cannot be changed after the array has been created. And in Java, arrays are objects, so arrays can be primitive types or reference types. And the main use of array is to store multiple values in a single variable instead of declaring separate variables for each value. Okay, so let's take a look into the next question. What is the advantage and disadvantage of an array? Well, the main use of array is to store multiple values in a single variable instead of declaring separate variables for each value. For example, you can see here the main use of array is to store multiple values in a single variable instead of declaring a separate variable for each value, right? So int a equal to 10, int b equal to 20, int c equal to 30. So here we are basically creating a separate variable to store a separate value, right? So instead of doing this, we can create an array, we can store multiple values, right? We can reduce a lot of lines of code here. Let's say I have a requirement to store 100 values. Then if I don't use array, then I need to create 100 individual variables, and I need to store 100 values in 100 individual variables. So instead of creating 100 variables, what I can do, I can create an array. I can store 100 values in an array. In this way we can store 100 values in a single variable, isn't it? So this is the main use of array. Next advantage of array is that we can access any element randomly by using indexes provided by arrays. Well, as we know that array is index based, right? We can access elements from the array using indexes. For example, let's say I have array, integer array with these 6 elements, and I want to access 50 from the array. Then what I can do, simply let me put this out here, and I can use index over here. For example, as we know that array index start from 0, so 10, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. So I can provide index 4 here, and I can get the 50 value from the integer array. Let me run the program, and you can see 50. And if I want to get 60 value from the integer array, then I can simply pass index 5. If I run the program, I will get a value 60 from an integer array. It means that array provides indexes mechanism so that we can access value randomly from the array by using index. The next advantage of an array is that we can sort multiple elements of an array at the same time. As we know that we can store multiple elements in an array, so we can sort multiple elements of an array at the same time. And the main disadvantage of an array is that size limit. We can store the only fixed size of elements in the array. It does not grow its size at the runtime. So this is the main disadvantage of an array. Well, here you can see the example. Once we define the array with some size, let's say size 5, we cannot change this size at the runtime. and we can store only 5 elements in the array. If we try to store 6 or more than 6, then this will give you the index out of bound exception. And another disadvantage is that arrays are strongly typed. It means that all the elements in an array have the same data type. We cannot store different types of the data in an array. For example, if we create array of integer, we can store only integer values. If we create a string array, we can only store the string values. If we create a user defined class array, then we can store only the user defined class values or objects. We cannot store different data type values in the array, isn't it? So these are the two disadvantages or limitations. Well, let's take a look into the next question. What are the types of an array in Java? Well, there are two types of an array: single dimensional array and multi-dimensional array. A single dimensional array is a normal array where array contains sequential elements of the same type. For example, look at here, this is a integer array, right? And this integer array contains the sequential elements of the type integer. Okay, so just remember, single dimensional array is nothing but a normal array, and basically array contains a similar type of elements. Okay, and multiple dimensional array is nothing but array contains array of arrays. Okay, a multi-dimensional array in Java is an array of arrays. For example, 2-dimensional array and 3-dimensional array. So these are the examples for multi-dimensional arrays. Well, 2-dimensional array is an array of 1-dimensional arrays, and 3-dimensional array is an array of 2-dimensional arrays. And look at here, this is example for 2-dimensional array. So let me explain with example. Let me adore to the IntelliJ IDEA over here, and look at here, this is example for 2-dimensional array. Okay, so if you can see here closely, this is the first array within a curly braces. So this is the first array, and within this array we can see 1-dimensional arrays. Okay, so array of 1-dimensional arrays. And if you want to access elements from the array, you can see this is the syntax. So just remember, multi-dimensional array is nothing but array of arrays, and 2-dimensional array and 3-dimensional array. So these are the examples for multi-dimensional array. Well, let's take a look into next question. Can you pass the negative number in array size? No, you cannot pass a negative number as an array size. Well, if you try to pass a negative number as an array size, then you will not get any compile time error. Instead, you will get a runtime exception. For instance, you can see this piece of code over here. I have created an array and I have tried to pass a negative number, that is -5, and you can see there is no compilation error. But if you try to run this program, you will get a runtime exception. So look at here, negative array size exception. Alright, so this basically demonstrates that you cannot pass a negative number as an array size. You have to pass a positive number as an array size. Alright, I hope this is clear to you. Well, let's take a look into the next question. When array index out of bounds exception occurs. Well, if you have already worked on an array, then you might got this exception, right? So this exception is frequently occur when we work with an array. Alright. Well, this exception basically throw when we try to access an array with illegal index. Here illegal index meaning the index is either a negative or greater than or equal to the size of an array. Alright, so whenever we try to access an array element with an illegal index, then this exception typically occur. And illegal index meaning the index is a negative number or greater than or equal to the size of an array. For example, look at here the code snippet. We have a main class. Within a main class we have a main method. Within a main method we have created an integer array with 5 elements. Here we are trying to access an array element with index 5, but the element with the array index 5 is not exist in this array because array starts with index 0, and this index 5 is equal to the size of an array. Alright, basically we are trying to access an array element with index 5 which is not exist in this integer array. That's why this program should throw the array index out of bounds exception. You can see the output of this program. and here you can see the exception message, index 5 out of bounds for length 5. Alright, so here basically we are trying to access an array element with index 5. The index 5 is equal to the size of an array. Alright, basically this is the illegal index. Well, next you can see one more example over here. Here we are trying to access an array element with a negative index. You can see -2. Alright, so this is the illegal index. In this case also, this program throws array index out of bounds exception. You can see the output of this program. Alright, so whenever we try to access an array element with illegal index, then basically out of bounds exceptions occur. Well, the next question is difference between array and array list. Well, this one is a commonly asked interview question, guys. And here I have listed few important difference between array and array list. Well, the first important difference is array is static in nature. It means array is fixed length data structure. Once we create an array with some size, we cannot change its length later, right? On the other hand, array list is dynamic in nature. If we add elements to array list, it will automatically increase its size. Alright, so array list has default length like 10, and whenever we add elements beyond 10, it will internally increase its size automatically. Alright, so just remember, array is static in nature. It means fixed length data structure, and array list is dynamic in nature. Alright, array list internally grows its size automatically. Alright, next difference is an array can contain both primitive and object data types. On the other hand, array list does not contain primitive types. It only contains the object data types. Alright, so if you want to use primitive types in array list, then you can go ahead and use primitive wrapper classes. So we have wrapper classes correspond to each primitive data type, right? So array list does not contain primitive data types. So if you want to store primitive data types in array list, then go ahead and use wrapper classes. Okay, so this one is also an important difference. Next is Java provides add method to insert an element into array list. On the other hand, we have assignment operator in Java to store elements into an array. For example, look at here, array list has add method, so we can use add method to add element to the array list. On the other hand, look at here assignment operator. So we can use assignment operator to store elements in an array. Okay, here we have created an array and we have stored 10, 20, 30 into an array using assignment operator over here. Alright, so this one is a basic difference between array and array list. So next is we cannot use generics along with an array, whereas array list allows you to use generics to ensure type safety. Alright, so array does not support generics, okay, and array list allows you to use generics to ensure type safety. You can see the example over here. We have created an array list object and look at here the generic. Alright, so we can use the generics with array list to ensure that type safety. Well, the next difference is we can get the size of an array list by using size method. On the other hand, we can get the array size using length variable. Well, you can see the example over here. So this is the program to find the length of the array list by using size method. Alright, so you can get the size of an array list by using size method. On the other hand, in case of array, you can use length variable to get the length of an array. So you can see here is the array of integers and you can get the length of this integer array by using length variable. Well, the next difference is the performance of an array and array list. Well, the performance of array and array list depends on the operation you are performing. For instance, resize method. Well, you can see the resize method internal implementation. Well, whenever array list reach its size, then resize method internally basically uses a temporary array to copy elements from old array to new array. So this will take some time to copy the elements from old array to new array, right? That's the reason the performance will slow down in case of resize operation. Alright, and in case of add or get operations, the array and array list performance is almost same, because array list internally uses array to add and access the elements, right? That's the reason the performance wise add or get operation remains same for array as well as array list. Alright, great. So these are the few notable differences between array and array list. Try to explain each difference with an example. Alright, so next you can see the question, can you declare an array without array size? No, you cannot declare an array without array size. You can see you will get a compile time error. So this screenshot shows that you cannot declare an array without array size. Otherwise you can see the compile time error, array initializer expected. Alright, next question is, where does array store in JVM memory? Well, as we know that array is an object in Java, right? So all the objects in Java are stored in a heap memory. That's the reason array is also an object, so array should be stored in a heap memory in a JVM. Alright, as we know that array is an object in Java, so array is stored in a heap memory in the JVM. Well, the next question is, what is array store exception when this exception is thrown? Well, basically array store exception is a runtime exception. Alright, and the array must contain the same data type elements, otherwise you will get array store exception. Well, if you try to store a different type of the element in an array, then typically this exception occur. For example, look at here, employee array. Alright, and here we have provided a reference type as an object so that you can add different type of element to an employee array over here. And here we are trying to add string to employee array with index 0. In this case you will get array store exception because you are trying to store different type of element in the array, that is employee array. You can see once we run the program you will get array store exception over here. Alright, it means that whenever you try to add a different type of element into an array, then typically you will get this runtime exception, that is array store exception. Alright, well, the next question is, what is the difference between array store exception and array out of bounds exception? Well, already we have gone through these two exceptions, right? Here we can summarize the difference. Like, array store exception is thrown if you try to add an incompatible data type. For example, if you try to add integer object to string array, then you will get array store exception. So this is a runtime exception. Well, array out of bounds exception is thrown when an attempt is made to access an array with an illegal index. Well, here illegal index means the index can be either negative or greater than or equal to size of an array. Alright, if you try to access an array with illegal index, then you will get array out of bounds exception. Alright, well, next question is, what is an anonymous array in Java? Give an example. Well, we have seen like we have anonymous class, anonymous function in Java, right? Anonymous function meaning lambda expression. So lambda expression don't have a name, right? So similar to that, we can also define anonymous array. Alright, an array without any name is called anonymous array. Alright, and here you can see the code snippet. We have a main class, within main class we have main method and we have sum method. So this sum method takes an integer array and then it will calculate the sum of this integer array. And here we are directly passing the integer array to the sum method, right? We are not giving a name to this array. Alright, so this is called anonymous array. Alright, anonymous array means array without any name is called anonymous array. Alright guys, these are the few important interview questions on array concept, and I highly recommend these questions especially for freshers. Alright, so if you are a fresher, then before attending any interview, so you can just go through these basic questions on array. Alright, and yeah, so this is the blog post I have written and published on my blog website, and I will provide a link of this blog post in a video description so that you can go ahead and get this blog post and you can take this as a notes. Alright, great. Thanks for watching. I will see you in the next video.